In today's video, we'll be learning how to make paracord knuckle dusters. Hey, what's going on guys? Tim here again. Got another tutorial for you today, something really special, really cool. This is how to make a paracord knuckle duster. So now, let me get this out of the way first. This is just a paracord craft for novelty purposes. I do not suggest you make these for self-defense or to hurt anyone. That is not what this channel is about. We're just all about making cool paracord stuff, okay? So just disclaimer. But anyhow, this is, a paracord knuckle duster. If anything, this is more like a cestus, which is a Roman, this goes back to like the Roman gladiator days, pardon me, where they wrapped, cord or leather around their fist to, punch someone. But yeah, this is a paracord knuckle duster. It's got a solid core in the handle, so you can grab onto that, and it does have these really cool hex nuts for force multipliers. Anyhow, no, it just makes it look cool. So before we get started, huge shout out to Jared over at Straight Up Paracord. He was the one who created one of these for the Not Games paracording contest going on Instagram, and yeah, he inspired this tutorial, sent me a few pictures to show me how he did it. I slightly modified his method and did these kind of through my own method. So this was the first iteration, and this is the second one. Okay, so that is what we're doing today, guys. And remember, if you're looking for paracord and all the cool stuff I use in these videos, check out the affiliate links down below. And of course, huge thank you always to my Patreon patrons. We're getting more and more every month, and I appreciate you guys supporting this channel because it's making a huge difference for me right now. And I always thank you for that. So if you want access to exclusive tutorials and the monthly giveaway, you can check out my links to Patreon there down below in the box and in the video. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so to start off this paracord knuckle duster, I've got my 2 strands of paracord and a nail. I took the head off the nail, I just sawed it off. And we're going to start off by tying a square knot, so I don't need the nail right now. We're going to be making this handle part first. I want a rigid core for the handle, so we're going to incorporate that nail. You don't have to do it, but I want to, just to make it a bit more solid. So we're going to lay our cords across each other, like so. Okay, just lay them perpendicular to each other. All right, so with the one on the bottom, so the gray, we're going to bring that across. And the other one, we're going to take that across, like so. Like that. Okay, so we've got 2 loops, like so. Now we're going to take the cord on the bottom. Then we're going to go over and under, like so. So over top this one and under the second one. And then with the other cord, now with this other cord, so this one here, we're going to go over and under, like so. Okay, so this is just a basic square knot. I have to apologize if this doesn't look very nice, just that my cords are very long. Okay, so that is where you want to be. Right? So we're going to tie this and cinch it shut, like so. Okay. So now we're tying the round sennit, not the square. So I like to hold mine like this, with the gray going up and down, or the one color going up and down, the other one going left and right. So that way you always know to cross over like so on an angle. Okay, so bring these across each other like that. And you can do the same thing with the two top and bottom cords. So on this side, you're going to go over and under, like so. Like that. And then I'm going to take the other one, go over and under. Okay. There you go. So you know you're on track because your colors are going the opposite of what you had before. So now we're going to tighten this one up, and now after the second knot, we're going to incorporate the nail. Okay, so let's just tighten this guy up. So now we take our nail, and you're just going to take the pointy end, just hold it right there, like so. And now you're just going to continue tying your round sennit, right? So it doesn't matter which color you originally had before, just as long as you follow that same pattern. See how it's going across the red? Because we're doing the round sennit, okay? So you can see where I'm going with this. I'm just going to continue tying. Continue tying my my sennit here, like so. Maybe do this. We just bend it through. Okay, and then pull it tight. So continue tying your round sennit. Get those knots nice and tight. Okay, and tie this all the way up your nail, and maybe just go a bit above. You want to conceal that rigid core in the center. So I'm just going to continue tying the round sennit all the way up. So I've gone past the nail, as you can see, but right now it's not large enough really for a grip yet. See, it's shorter than my palm. So you want to continue this so that it can fit in your hand. Okay, so I'm going to add maybe another inch or so. Okay, so I'll probably tie a few more knots, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so as you can see, I've tied enough of the sennit so that it goes across my palm, because that's going to be the grip. Now I've got 4 strands on this end, 2 of which we're going to ignore for now. And these 2, I've got fids attached to each strand. Pardon the mess. So this gray strand is now attached to a fid. And what we're going to do, you see on this other opposite end where we started, there's a loop. We're going to take that fid and jam it through the loop there. And this is going to create the finger guard portion. Okay, so pull all this paracord through. Okay, try to get all those twists out. So there's one that's gone through. There's a loop here. And now with the red cord. Red cord also on a fid. We're going to put it through this end as well. Okay, so push that through. And there we go. So now as for the finger guard part, don't make it so tight that it sticks to your fingers, because you're going to need some space for the Cobra knots in between. So you can kind of play with this and figure out how much space you want. Maybe I'd say maybe a finger in there, so 1/2 inch or so, right? But if you want it really snug, you can make it smaller. Okay, so do that. Now we can start tying the finger guard part. So now with this end where the cords came through, you're going to turn that towards you, and we can start tying the first set of Cobra knots. Okay, so I think I want to go for gray going down the core. So I'm going to take gray, put it across the core, red on top, and red out the other side, like so. Okay, and just tie your simple Cobra knots. Okay, get that nice and tight up top, like so, and just continue tying. Okay, so you can see where I'm going with this. I'm just going to tie these Cobra knots from here all the way down to here. Okay, so let's do one more. Like that. Okay, continue tying. All right, so just do that. We'll get to this end here. Okay, so we're coming to the opposite end of our finger guard here, or the knuckle guard. So pull that tight. Now we're going to cut our paracord, snip and singe the excess here, and then we're going to start tying with these other strands going back this way, because these won't have enough. Okay, so I'm going to snip and singe these two excess pieces. Okay, so we snipped and singed those excess cords there. Now we're going to tie the King Cobra section over while incorporating an accent cord and our little hex nuts here. Okay, so here's what we'll do. I've got another scrap piece. You just need enough to go maybe around like this, so like this. I've got it on a fid, and I'm going to just push it through here. You don't have to use a fid, you can just loosen that cord and pull this through. Okay. So you have that. You can pull this tight. Now we're going to tie a couple of knots, Cobra knots, before we incorporate the hex nut. So again, I want gray in the center. So let's take the gray across. Pull that through. Let's tie the first one up top here. And you're going to have to kind of play with it to keep the accent cord in the middle. Kind of like that thin blue line design. It's going to be a little awkward. So tie 2 Cobra knots. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, now from here, you're going to take this cord, you're going to thread one of your hex nuts on here, like so, and then you're going to tie 2 more Cobra knots. Okay, so tie that one. That's one. And tie another one. Okay. And before you fully tighten, try to keep that accent cord in the middle. It's gonna be a little tricky. Okay, so there's one. Now to continue, just put another one on and tie another two. So place one hex nut on and then put another 2 Cobra knots. Okay. So that's one. And now to continue, just take another hex nut, feed it onto your accent cord, like so, and then tie another 2 Cobra knots. Okay. Okay, so that's the process. Just hex nut, 2 Cobra knots, hex nut, 2 Cobra knots, and do that all the way down to the end of your duster. Okay, guys. So as you can see, I've made my way down, incorporated all the hex nuts, and I'm just gonna finish this off by tying a last couple of Cobra knots. There we go. I think we can stop there. Yeah, I'll do one more. Okay. So now all we have to do is snip off the excess cords. So these 3 down here and the one up there, and we're done. Okay, and there we have it. We are finished. This Paracord Knuckle duster is done, and that looks pretty badass, I gotta say, guys. So remember, this is just for novelty purposes. Definitely do not make one of these to hurt people. Let's all be nice. The world would be a lot nicer place if we were all just a little bit nicer to each other. So hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you're not subscribed already and you want to see more content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on notifications because YouTube will not notify you of my videos unless you do so. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and again, huge shout out to Jared over at Straight Up Paracord for inspiring this tutorial. Okay, see you guys on the next tutorial.